There's a lot of Acolyte fans who are still delusional about the success of the show, Jeremy. I don't know if you saw all this going on yesterday, but apparently because the Penguin is being heralded as a big success, that means the Acolyte was also a success too. Did you know that, Jeremy?
That's what I've been hearing. I thought we were only negative, Ryan. I don't. So apparently we like the Penguin, and that's a bad thing too. But go ahead. Yes.
Yeah. Whenever I like something, nothing goes well. That's like certain. You can just count on that. No problem at all. But obviously, we talked about this the other day. The Penguin, to me, was kind of a surprise with how big it was. The idea that this is the biggest series premiere they've had since The Last of Us premiered opens up 5.3 million viewers across platforms in the first 4 days. And of course, if you just read a headline and you have no context and no understanding of how any of this works, maybe I guess you could ask some questions. So the Acolyte's not such a failure after all, says Bungo. Sith Eternal. The Penguin gets 5 million viewers for its premiere. It's branded as a hit. The Acolyte garnered 11 million. It was lambasted as a failure. Sad face. Penguin was a hit with 5.3 million viewers over 5 days. Meanwhile, Acolyte had 11.1 in 5 days. Why did these outlets move the goalpost? Penguin debut was a failure.
Jesus Christ.
Got 11 million views in 5 days. The Penguin got 5.3 million in 4 and somehow considered a smash hit. Rings of Power got 902,000, but yeah, somehow Acolyte gets canned. Well, one, that's a Samba TV number that has nothing to do with these numbers, so don't be retarded. But also, if you would just actually read, and I know none of you do, that's why the High Republic books don't sell well. That's why no one ever buys those. I get it. You don't want to actually read. But if you do, you would only have to go this far. Per HBO, the spin-off series starring Colin Farrell opened to 5.3 million U.S. viewers across all platforms. The Acolyte, 11 million. What was that? That was a global number, by the way. A worldwide, a global number, 11 million views worldwide for the Acolyte, which is why it's a little bit of a different story. And also, if you need to add some more context, and even Paul Tassi did this, by the way, the Acolyte versus Penguin viewership comparisons don't really add up. He correctly points out, he didn't talk about the worldwide number versus the U.S. number, but he does correctly point out that HBO and Max is a much smaller service. They have about 100 million subscribers worldwide. Disney Plus has over 150 million. So yes, when you factor in what it likely got globally, probably is around the same level, if not a little bit higher than the Acolyte. It's R-rated. They spent way less money on it. Oh, and by the way, it's on a significantly smaller streaming service. This is all the context you need to realize that, oh yes, Penguin actually was a big success for a platform like Max, where the Acolyte was a massive failure for a Star Wars project on Disney Plus.
Why? They're so desperate to try and justify this fucking show. People are saying that so now the theory is that the reason that the Acolyte got canceled is because media branded it a failure, and it has nothing to do with the internal numbers from Disney. So Disney was like, wow, guys, we got a big hit on our hand. Oh, man, YouTubers and websites called it a failure. We got to cancel season 2, guys. So even though the numbers are a huge success and we're making all of this money, a couple of websites called it a failure, and these YouTubers really hate it. So we got to pull the plug. That makes no sense whatsoever. That is the stupidest thing ever. Disney canceled it because it was a failure. That's why it was canceled. It has nothing to do with websites or YouTubers or anything like that. Then when you put the proper perspective in play, yes, the Penguin is a huge success. It overperformed every metric imaginable. And on top of that, people, generally speaking, are really enjoying it. Surprised by a lot of people were surprised by it, me included, Ryan included. And now I think they're going to have a lot of momentum moving forward, whereas that didn't happen with the Acolyte. Nobody watched the Acolyte and said, wow, guys, this was amazing. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to this. Everybody hated it from the beginning. My goodness, man.
Yeah, and it lost significant viewership.
Yes, whereas the Penguin's going to grow, right? And the Penguin's going to grow.
Penguin will likely grow. We don't know yet. We haven't seen the second or third episodes. We don't know what they're doing. But in all likelihood, with the good word of mouth, with so many people talking about it, being surprised by it, it probably will grow. And And yeah, like these things, you can't just take those numbers. You have to actually look at the context involved, as with everything. And let's not forget, this is the same media that they're saying labeled the Acolyte a failure. They're the ones who came out after that first day or whatever it was. Remember, the Acolyte, Disney Plus's newest Star Wars series, reached 4.8 million views in its first day of availability. That marks the streamer's biggest series premiere of 2024. The media were the ones that were shilling it and pretending like it was a massive success. And leaving out the context that Disney Plus had nothing of note that debuted in 2024. Up until that point in time, the biggest premiere before that, I think, was probably Echo, which was the lowest rated Disney Plus series for Marvel that they've ever had. X-Men 97, an animated show, might have been behind that. So there was nothing of note that debuted on Disney Plus. So it wasn't a surprise that Acolyte was the tallest midget, but that was the media that was helping them out. So the idea that the media are the ones that branded it a failure is just nonsensical and insane.
Agreed. I mean, so this is cope on another level at this point in time is essentially what we're looking at right now. And one has literally nothing to do with the other. None. There's no comparison whatsoever. I wasn't like waiting for the Penguin to release. No one even cared about this show coming out. No one was even talking about it. It wasn't on anybody's radar. We were like, whatever.
It was on my radar, and it was something that I wanted to watch, but I was not hyped for it. I wasn't excited about it. And I'm someone who liked the Batman movie probably more than a lot of other people kind of in our sphere did. But it's like, okay, thought Colin Farrell was good in his role in the Batman, but I'm not really hyped for a Penguin, spin-off series. We'll see what it does. But it's gotten rave reviews, and that first episode is a banger. It draws really you right good. In. It's a great pilot episode, for lack of a better words. We don't really have pilots nowadays, but it's a great pilot episode because it gives you a great first scene. First 10 minutes is fantastic. Gives you real insight into the character and a shocking moment that leaves you wondering what the fuck is going to happen now. And then you see it play out over the course of the episode, and you see a massive kind of twist at the end to really set up, he's been playing these people all along. And you're like, I can't wait to see how this series plays out.
That's
exactly what it should do, as opposed to, I don't know, say the Acolyte's first episode.
Exactly.
But this big mystery gets revealed in the first 10 minutes. What's happening? You gotta love that.
And it does make me actually, just watching that first episode, I want to go back and watch the Batman now. That's the job it's supposed to do. It's supposed to make you interested in that world. I've seen the Batman twice. I liked it far less the second time. Still enjoyed it. It was a fine movie. That's about as good as I can say about it. It's a fine movie. But I do want to go back now and watch it with the perspective of this kind of view of Gotham. So we'll see. It could end up sucking as the series progresses. I think we have 8 episodes, so they're going to be released on Sundays. And IGN ultimately gave the entire series a 5 out of 10. They did give the first episode an 8 out of 10. So we'll have to see how the series progresses. But we'll let you know what we think about it.
Different reviewers did those, though, right?
I think so. I think it was different reviewers. So
who knows what that person who gave the first episode an 8 will say at the end of the season? We don't know.
Yep.